Alright, so we back with another video. Today we getting y'all another reaction. Today we gonna be reacting to a very interesting video. Now I'm gonna do a couple different types of tier lists, but I wanna update my knowledge. Not even just update, kind of do like a recap of some things I may have just forgot. Because sometimes when you watch these shows, you may watch it one time, but that one time may not be enough, or it been so long that you forget. So we're gonna get a little bit of a refresher, but in an interesting way. Now it's like a little trend for people to do this 7 levels of. Today we're gonna be doing 7 levels of power systems in anime. If y'all do want more videos like this, more reactions, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. Y'all gotta put in the comments down below what y'all want more. The reactions, the top 10s, the tier lists. Cause at the end of the day, what y'all want, I got it. So, like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff out the way though. No more talking. Let's hop into it.
There are tons of unique power systems in anime and manga. Some are absolutely legendary, some are okay, and some are just bad. So here are the 7 levels of power systems, starting from the absolute worst.
Let's see what's the bottom.
You'll remember forever. Level 1.
Editing is
new.
New?
This is the absolute...
Wait, so level has a terrible power system? Were you S class, A class, and F class and all that? Reading the manga, the power system is simple, but it got more depth than a lot of power systems, I would say. Especially when you think about some of them isekais where it's just simple. You go to a world, you get a power. Like, and you get like broken shit. I don't know if I would say this is the lowest. Maybe the next. Because usually these levels videos, that bottom usually be like the worst of the worst. So I would say like some of them isekai shows power system. And then I would probably say shows like Solo. But we'll see. Maybe he just didn't go that low.
Bada. Level 1 is the place where you're going to ask yourself, why is there even a power system in that thing? They often feel like they were just copy-pasted from something way better without the parts that made the thing they copied cool. Those are the systems that usually have the most basic abilities you could think of. The real problem isn't that they're boring. It's just that they make their stories so much worse. For example, there's a whole category of anime called
Okay, so he is gonna say isekai. Okay, so yeah, I would have said isekai would have been level 1. But why is solo leveling? The picture of it. Solo leveling has a better power system than these isekai. I'm gonna keep it being, but maybe he's saying because it makes the story worse, which I don't agree with either.
Isekai, and most of them go something like this. Some random person is transported or reincarnated in some kind of strange world, which sounds interesting until you realize that most
Now, I'm not gonna lie, the entire idea of isekai is really good until they just started spamming it. And I ain't gonna lie, that trolled it. When everybody just started doing it, it kind of got cooked.
Their entire power system from whatever role-playing game they could think of. I'm talking about literal game screens floating in front of the characters with their levels, health, magic. I'm talking fireballs, water magic, that kind of stuff. The magic systems in these shows are so predictable.
Yeah, it's
Every
extremely generic
is either the sword person, the magic person, or the bow person.
There are some isekais that do it better than others, though. So hopefully he does talk about stuff like that, because shows like Mushoku Tensei, ReZero, I don't know, ReZero power system is kind of weird. Because it's so mysterious. But it has a lot of depth. There are some isekai that just aren't like the others, I'll say.
Really matter anyway. There are no smart tactics, creative problem solving, interesting abilities. No, that's lame. We just want to one-shot stuff. Okay, but seriously, there are some really genuinely awesome isekai out there that do all these things in way more interesting ways. But a lot of them do not. Level 1 also includes series like Solo Leveling that have extremely beautiful animation, but nothing else. The main character of this series is called Jinwoo, and he's basically the only person that can become stronger by slowly leveling up. Like,
oh, okay, I ain't gonna lie, but okay, so then why? Okay, if that's the case, why is One Punch Man not on here? Because it's a lot of good powers, and it's a difference in levels for sure. But he's the only one that can like level up like this. I guess anybody can get stronger in One Punch Man technically. I guess I get that. Cause I ain't gonna lie, that do be kind of confusing me when they be training in solo leveling, knowing they can't really get stronger. That is kind of weird.
In a video game. And when I say slowly, what I actually mean is that by episode 25, he's already one of the strongest characters in the entire show. Every single episode, he gets new abilities, new weapons, new moves. The entire idea is that he becomes super overpowered super fast. But because of that, there isn't really any strategy or specific rules. There's a scene where he fights this thing. It's this final boss kind of enemy that's basically been destroying everyone in the series in like seconds. This looks like it's going to be a tough fight. They both go all out. Jinwoo is having a very difficult time. They punch each other. They start flying. The insect attacks. Watch out, watch out, watch out! As Jinwoo is about to lose, the video game system appears and saves Jinwoo. And he wins the fight without a scratch. Listen, the video game thing is...
Okay, so now we saying plot armor ruin shit. Okay, I want to see consistency then. Because it's some inconsistent ass shows that's very, very popular that do that. So we'll see what's going to come in level 2 then. I know it should come in level 2 now.
Cool.
But if it don't, then we're going to have a problem.
Then what is the point of a power system? But seriously, I genuinely like solo leveling. The fights are cool, the action scenes are beautiful, and honestly, sometimes you
I'm not gonna lie, he being harsh on solo. It should have been a level over isekai, but it isn't. The way he described it, it shouldn't be very high. I don't think it should be very high regardless.
Does that create an interesting power system? No. Awesome fights, bad power system. And here's the thing. Good systems are about many things like clear rules, limits, consistency, cool powers, original abilities.
I guess there aren't really clear rules in solo leveling. I guess you just get your level and then that's your level.
Combine all these things. But level 1 systems do not have any of these things. Level 2, background character.
Okay.
Level 2.
Maybe I'm just forgetting, but what the hell is the One Punch Man? Okay. Full Metal Alchemist level 2. If I don't see Bleach here, I'm gonna get. I'm just saying.
Is where things get a tiny bit better. And that's because they focus on the basics. We're starting to see power systems with some depth and a couple of cool abilities here and there. But they're still very far from perfect. They do their job, but in the end, they're still basic. Let's take Demon Slayer. The power system in this series is literally breathing. And basically, the more characters master their breathing,
I guess
the
solo leveling.
The cool part is that there are a bunch of different styles of breathing, like fire, water.
It's just not an isekai.
Love breathing. For some reason, don't get me wrong, the abilities are not that crazy. I mean, most of the characters just have different ways of swinging a sword.
He may be right.
We're starting to see some complexity with the different categories of breathing, or even limits where characters can only do certain moves a certain amount of times. Everything looks visually beautiful, but it's not to hide the fact that there's nothing there. Yeah, it looks absolutely gorgeous and makes your eyes explode, but underneath all that,
because Demon Slayer does have a unique
power systems. Also include legends like Dragon Ball. Hey, whoa, it's fine. Calm down. Let me explain.
Okay, hold on. He keeping it a bean. Hold on.
Was absolutely amazing when it came out. I mean, this thing gave us some of the most iconic moves in anime history. The Kamehameha, the Kaioken, the Super Saiyan transformation, Ultra freaking Instinct. But it's been many years and power systems evolved. Dragon Ball is what everyone else took inspiration from.
I ain't gonna lie, because it was the first, I think it should get some bonus points. Like a lot of shows copied this in another show, but they're kind of outdated now in terms of scale. So I would say they should get brownie points for what they did, but I guess it didn't stand the test of time, you could say. I don't know. That's a tough
now,
one.
It's honestly pretty basic.
Because it's easier to make a good power system now than it is.
Easy to understand, simple, and instantly recognizable.
Because everything been done now.
Stuff that came out later,
so never mind.
It's just not that deep. These systems are simple, but at the end of the day, they're just the foundation. Until you add a couple of things and you get level 3. Side character. Level 3 is where things
the name of these
created.
tiers don't make
Power
sense to me.
systems start having their own style, their own unique touch, but they're still figuring out how to balance everything. These are the kind of systems that make you go, that's pretty interesting. They don't nail everything, but the foundations are pretty strong. In Mob Psycho 100, the power system is literally just how emotional can the main character become. The characters have something called psychic powers, which basically means they can do stuff like telekinesis, go really fast, use telepathy, and a bunch of other pretty basic powers. It's the same psychic stuff we've seen a million times before. just with a pretty cool twist. Every once in a while, you'll see this counter on the screen that goes from 0 to 100. It usually happens when the main character is getting angrier or sadder, or just when he gets some kind of emotion. And every time you see that number going up, you're sitting there like, oh my goodness, he's gonna do it. There are some consistent rules, and there's more depth than just a dude using random abilities. But it's not super strict rules. And that's the thing. Mob Psycho 100 is the first power system on this list that I would consider a soft power system. Basically, from what I understand, there's this really famous author called
The thing I would say about that show, how does the power system correlate to anyone else but him, though, in terms of what he just said? You never really see that like that, I guess. Everybody kind of just using their powers. So I don't know.
And he said that you can either have a hard magic system, which is the kind of thing where there are a lot of strict rules that are very clearly explained. And it can almost feel like you're reading some kind of encyclopedia. And then there are soft power systems where the rules are a bit more mysterious and they aren't explained as much. Here's the thing, these two things can work really well, but they're very different.
I think I like the soft ones
people transform into Titans, but we don't need to understand all the rules of how someone transforms and how it works specifically. The system is deep in other ways, like how it ties into the entire story. Kill la Kill is an extreme example of that. Basically, there are school students. These school students have uniforms, and depending on how many stars there are on the uniform, the student is more or less powerful. That's it. I don't think there's anything especially interesting with this power system, but it's super creative.
I thought he was gonna go
and it looks completely
deep on it.
different from
Didn't say
anything
anything
else out there.
Wow.
This system serves the series over-the-top style perfectly, but it's about as mechanical as a dream. Sometimes that's enough. But sometimes you want a power system that can surprise you with some strategy. And that's where we get level 4. Main character. Every power...
Okay, Bleach is kind of high up here now, bro. I thought that would have been... Okay, it didn't deserve to be in the one of Dragon Ball, but last year it made a lot of sense based off how he was explaining it. But let me see what he's going to say is the explanation for this one.
System in level 4 is memorable for one reason or another. These systems represent a big leap in depth. They're usually really good in several ways, but great in one specific way. Let's take freiren. This series puts so much effort into creating this...
Freiren and Bleach in the same tier of power system. I gotta hear the explanation here. I actually gotta hear the explanation here. I won't lie.
Detailed system where magic is developed.
Especially when he said the plot armor stuff for solo leveling. I gotta hear the explanations. I can't lie.
Centuries. There's a scene where a mage apprentice is fighting against a demon. This guy used to be one of the deadliest wizards on the planet. And that's because he invented a spell called Zoltrak. It was extremely powerful magic that people used to attack other people. But as time went by, mages became smarter and smarter and learned how to use magic in a bunch of different ways. Until one day, Zoltrak went from one of the deadliest spells you could imagine to just a basic spell. Instead of characters learning new abilities over weeks or months, freiren shows us what happens when someone has literally centuries to perfect their craft. It's a much more scientific and realistic way of showing magic. It's complex and extremely consistent. But here's the thing. All of these spells are the most generic fantasy spells ever, which is probably exactly what the author was going for, even though...
Okay, now I'm confused. Now I'm kind of confused, bro, because this is literally just isekai. It is just an isekai power system, and when he was talking about it's so generic, I think he's putting into how good the actual show is now, which he didn't do at AOT. I'm not seeing a lot of consistency here with this list. I'm gonna keep it being. Like, I actually think freiren has a good power system, but the way he's describing it is the same way he was describing isekai in the first level. It's just things that don't really have much to do with the power system uplifting it, which don't really make sense to me. To be real, I'm gonna keep it being.
It's not always super fun. Level 4 also has super chaotic power systems that are basically the complete opposite of freiren. If I tried explaining the dandadan system to you right now...
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Dandadan being in the same tier with freiren and Bleach, I'm gonna be honest. It's probably not better than freiren, but better power system. I don't know, bro.
I'm not sure I could, honestly. The series combines like Japanese spirits, alien powers, and psychic abilities into one system, but it never really explains how these completely different things are supposed to work together. It makes everything extremely fun, and the abilities are super iconic. There is no logic, nothing that explains why certain powers work the way they do, and that's fine. But it is very chaotic, which can sometimes lead to very confusing moments where you have absolutely no idea what's going on. As a bonus, level 4 also includes bleach because Bankai is the single best power-up in anime history.
Okay, this is bias. I'm not even gonna lie. This is just bias now. We're just being biased. So the only reason it's this high is because of the power-up. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not saying he wrong. Bankai is aura. For sure aura. But, come on, bro. Like, I do think it has more depth than Dragon Ball. For sure. But it shouldn't been, like, this many tiers over it. I do think because it has all these... I don't know, though. It does have more depth. But does it... Like, it does have a lot more going on overall when you think about the Quincy's and the Arankar. But what is the power system with those? I get the power system with the Soul Reapers and stuff like that. But what's the power system with those?
Period. Level 4 powers basically nail.
And then you got
one
Ichigo
piece
that's
of
like
puzzle.
all
They're
four of
still
them.
missing a little something. They are so close to greatness, and they show you glimpses of what could be absolute.
Hold on, bro. This is literally no consistency. I just thought about this. This is literally no consistency. So, he was glazing Dragon Ball for the power-ups in Tier 2, having the most iconic power-ups. And now we're saying this has the best power-ups because of his opinion. Nah, this is kind of glazed, gang.
But
This is
they're held
glazed.
back by a couple of flaws. And I get it. Sometimes authors do all of these things on purpose. But that is the difference between level 4 and level 5.
My Hero.
Transformation.
Whoa. I've been... Hey, people trying to jump on the My Hero train. I seen it in real time. Like, I was getting hate for saying this is one of the best anime all time when they started doing the My Villain Academia I put like multiple arcs in the top 25 arcs. People was killing me for it. I think that's aging. I think that's aging like fine wine. But I'm looking at this tier. I'm questioning things. Okay, JJK is only level 5. Gachiakuta seems like it has a pretty interesting power system. I don't really understand it yet, to be honest, but it seems like it has a pretty... What is this? Is this Luffy? That's Luffy. I don't know what this is. Okay, I
Single
guess.
power system from now on.
Hunter
is
x Hunter.
Awesome.
In level... Oh, this may be a bad video to be reacting to.
Level 5 systems are way deeper than just fighting mechanics.
My Hero,
Everyone in this category
JJK,
has
and
nailed
Hunter
the
x Hunter same
fundamentals,
tier
but
is
they
crazy.
all do something that makes them stand out from everyone else. My Hero Academia might seem like a super basic power system, but there's something it does better than pretty much everyone else, including systems in higher levels. The way it works is that approximately 80% of the population has superpowers called...
I won't lie, Black Clover has one of the
basic
best.
stuff like
Based on
throwing
how he
fire,
talking about
running
stuff, Black
fast,
Clover has one of
or
the best
punching
power
hard.
systems.
But you also have much more original abilities like an octopus-looking body with eyes, ears, and mouths at the end of each tentacle, or using cables that
Especially
come
with
out
how
of
balanced
your
it
ears
is, but
to
it
create
does
shockwaves, or
have a lot of
even
plot
a
armor,
literal
too.
bird made of shadow. But here's the thing. People then used to have quirks. In the beginning, there were only a few people that did. And as more individuals started getting them, society became this extremely dangerous place where there were no laws to control those who had
quirks.
superpowers. People who used their abilities to help others became heroes. But I'm not talking about your regular superheroes. I'm talking about licensed professionals with rankings, performance metrics, and careers. They even started creating entire agencies of heroes. But there was also a very dark side to this. Some people's quirks made them very unusual. There were those who looked very different, or others who accidentally became dangerous. Many of those people couldn't live a normal life anymore because of something they were born with, which is why a lot of the villains in My Hero Academia aren't people who just decided to be bad guys. They were people who were treated terribly because of their powers and decided it wasn't fair. Quirks affect literally every single aspect of society. Economic.
Can't lie, he is chatting with this power system shit now. I'm not even gonna lie. Bro, he's literally describing the story saying that's the power system. He's saying quirks affecting people in terms of their daily life is helping the power system. Won't lie, quirks is literally... I don't agree with this one. I'm gonna keep it a bean. He kind of gassing it a little bit, because if we doing this daily life thing, we could have just said AOT was higher. If we was doing it based off how good the story, the power system affects the story, the AOT should have been way higher. That don't make no sense. It's not a lot of consistency here, bro. I'm gonna keep it being.
Education, laws, social life, everything is built around them. Sure,
I ain't gonna lie, that's true.
Rules and the abilities are pretty basic in general. But the fact that everything in this story is happening because of the power
he a My
system
Hero
gives it a
Glazer. There's no way.
crazy amount
There's only
of depth.
explanation
Level
right
5
now.
also has very recent series like Witch Hat Atelier. This power system does something really interesting by completely changing the entire idea of magic.
hard.
Instead of it being this thing that people are just born with or they're not, it becomes this art that literally anyone can learn if they just understand how to draw it. Because yes, in Witch Hat Atelier, the way you use magic is by drawing specific circles and specific symbols together to create specific spells. Witches have a bunch of different pens to draw on different objects. So for example, if someone wants to fly, they're not just going to focus and use some wind magic. No, they're going to draw the specific symbol they need to create strong wind, draw it in 2 separate parts under their shoes, and when they need to fly, they'll put the shoes together so that the symbol is complete, and bam, anyone with a pen and paper can theoretically use magic. And that's where the dark part of this system comes in. The Witch Society keeps magical knowledge a secret, because if everyone used spells, the world would become a super dangerous place. And whenever someone finds out about this law, the magic police erases their memory. The thing I absolutely love about this is how, yes, the spells are super basic, but there's a twist that makes you feel like you're just rediscovering magic. And that's amazing. But apart from that, the magic just looks freaking beautiful. I mean,
Keep it a beam, bro. This don't seem like the deepest power system. I'm gonna keep it a beam. This seemed like a cool power system, but it don't seem that deep. I don't like. What's the difference between this and dandadan? I don't really get it.
look at that. Level 5 systems get to that
like, why is this a
spot
different
where
to than that?
everything clicks
Dandadan
together.
is pretty
They all do
complex
something
power
very
system.
unique while being complex in their own way. These are the systems that stick with you long after you finish
Okay, he
watching.
didn't say 100x100.
Level 6.
Oh,
Overpowered.
okay.
Everything
Wait,
from this
Chainsaw Man,
point
same level as
bangs.
One Piece is kind of crazy.
Those are power systems that nail several things, which ultimately makes them
I haven't seen
really
Naruto
deep
yet, low key. I
in a
just thought
couple of
about
ways.
that.
Level 6 is where creators stop playing by anyone else's rules. There might be similar power systems out there, but these guys are unique in a way that would be
Okay.
really hard to
Unique.
replicate. They're not just good or great. They're special. These are the systems that make you go, holy moly, I never thought of doing it that way. Listen, I know that a lot of people think that One Piece's power system is generic and goofy, but name another anime that made a
Me
rubber...
personally, I don't know if there was a correlation. Now I stopped watching it. I think the arcs just did get slower. But Devil Fruit era, then when Hockey came in, it started to fall off a little bit for me. But I think that was just the arcs were just not that good after Marineford. But I'm gonna hop back into it. I should have hopped back into it when it was a break, but I didn't know it was a break. But it what it is. But I don't know if it should be this high either. I'm gonna keep it being.
person cool. In One Piece, characters get powers by eating these fruits called devil fruits. That's basically the system. And trust me when I say that this feels like the author just went, what if I could give characters literally any power I can think of and somehow make it work all together? And he pulled it off. We have characters like a dude that controls strings and uses them to fly, cut entire buildings and control people like puppets. Or a girl that can create an almost infinite amount of limbs. Or even the fusion between a dog and a cannon. Author takes really simple ideas like rubber or strings or whatever he can think of and turns them into these super creative abilities. But on top of that,
I think he's going crazy again though. Like, I feel like he kind of is describing. He's not really describing power systems. He's kind of describing like creative abilities and stuff like that, and how they work within the world, and how they affect the world more so than the actual power system or some of this. I don't know. I don't really
also
think of
added
this
a
stuff like
second
how
power
you're thinking
system
of.
called hockey, so that people without devil
Because
fruits
he's not
could
lying
fight
about the
against
stuff
people
he's
who
saying, but
do have devil fruits.
I don't know if
Author
that's
has been
the actual
slowly
power
perfecting this power system over years, and it now works like a very complex puzzle. But at the same time, it's simple enough they can still enjoy it even without diving too deep. Weirdly enough,
Because Devil
level
Fruit is
6
pretty
also
simple.
has
It's
a
not really
couple of
complex
new
at all.
power
It's
systems.
probably
You have
pretty much
Chainsaw Man,
what it
where
is.
the main
Hockey is
idea
the
is that humans are
complex
afraid
one.
of stuff in this fear creates these monsters called devil. And the more people are afraid of these specific things, the stronger the devil. We have stuff like the bat
Chainsaw
devil,
Man
the
is a very good
octopus
power
devil,
system that's
and
very
even
simple, but
the
actually
sea cucumber devil. Not gonna
the
lie, these things are
complexity is
pretty
kinda-
scary. We also have
and the
gachiakuta, where
mysteriousness
little
is kinda
garbage
good,
can be
too.
transformed into magical weapons if someone takes care of it for long enough. Okay, so imagine that you have a pen you really like. You've had it since you were a kid, going through middle school, high school, and maybe even work or university. So that pen can now transform into this massive pen magic weapon, right? Not exactly. Transformation of the pen depends on who you are. So let's say you love running. Maybe your pen will turn into this extremely fast pen hoverboard. Or maybe you love cooking, so your pen will turn into this kitchen tool where instead of the ink is the exact oil you need for a certain meal. It all depends.
Oh,
on
that's
the person.
hard.
And
I'm
that's
not gonna
basically
lie.
Gachiakuta's
That's
power
actually
system.
hard.
Level 6
I didn't even
systems
realize
are
that.
created by people who have mastered all the regular approaches and decided that it just wasn't good enough. What makes these systems special
That's
is
actually
the
hard,
combination
I didn't
of
even realize that's what they
creativity
was doing.
and a lot
Keep
of
it a bean.
thinking. In some cases, these power systems just need a little bit more time. In other cases, they're almost perfect. Almost. Because that is the title reserved for level
I didn't see
7.
Naruto this whole
the
time, by the way.
strongest. We are now at the absolute peak.
Stands is a perfect power system.
Level 7 isn't just great. It's the standard that every other creator tries to reach.
I was
All of them
kinda
are
scared at
great
level
in
5 when
almost
I seen
every
100,
single
100
category, but they're exceptional in their own unique way. And if you ask anyone what the best power systems in anime and manga are, there's like a 90% chance they'll say it's these ones. First, we have the most creative power system. JoJo's stands.
JoJo's is the most
super
creative
simple.
power
Stands are
system?
these spirits that only other stand users can see. They're also
don't know
linked
about
to
that
you.
one.
So if your stand gets hurt, you get hurt too. And each one of them has specific supernatural abilities.
I don't
Pretty
know about
basic.
that one.
Until you realize that a lot of these stands are extremely creative.
Nah,
This
the
girl
stands
uses
are creative
strings
in
to create
themselves,
any object
for sure.
imaginable. This man uses bubbles to steal the properties of things. Like, for example, someone's ability
Nah, I ain't
to
gonna lie,
see.
stands
This
is
guy's
pretty
power
crazy.
is to
I don't know
use
about level
zippers,
7 though.
as in the same zippers in pants. These powers might seem goofy, but they actually create some of the coolest
I just feel like a lot of that stuff
fights
that was
you can
level 6
imagine.
ain't level
There
6, and this is
genuinely
level
no
6.
such thing as a generic stand battle, because each power forces characters to be super creative about how to use their abilities and counter other abilities. You might think that a stand is completely useless until you see it in action, like the zipper guy I just talked about. At some point, he's trying to find someone.
It is
He's
very
slowly
tactical.
tracking them until he sees something suspicious and puts a zipper on a wall to get closer to it. He finds a mysterious tunnel and slowly makes his way inside. And bam, there's the guy he was looking for. My man starts fighting him and throws his stand. His arm is trapped. Solution, turn it into a zipper to free himself. He then proceeds to punching the enemy as fast as possible and cuts several rock pillars by turning them into zippers. But then, he casually receives a phone call while fighting, so of course, he just takes his phone out of his pocket. No, I'm kidding. All this time, his phone was actually inside of his face thanks to a zipper. This system rewards intelligence over raw strength. Battles aren't won by whoever has the biggest power level.
that's you
They're
funny,
won
I
by
can't
whoever
lie.
understands their powers the most deeply.
Nah,
It is
JoJo's
the
is mad
weirdest-
creative.
Sorry.
He may be
Most
cooking with
bizarre
this one being
power
7.
system ever made. But on the flip side, level 7 also has the most complex and technical power system. Listen,
Yeah, JJ
even if
Cam,
I wanted
100,
to explain
100
how
definitely
everything
probably
works
the
in
2.
Hunter x Hunter, I just couldn't. I mean, look at this insanity. There are literally pages and pages talking about
They
these
just go
powers.
too
But
crazy
basically,
when you
everyone
tryna
has
read
life
the manga
energy,
because they
and
be-
certain people
bro,
can
it be-
control it. And amongst
bro.
these people, there are 6 categories: enhancers, emitters, manipulators, transmuters, conjurers, and specialists. Each of these categories can do completely different things that reflect who you are as a person. So for example, the main character is a very determined and brave boy. So he's an enhancer who can punch things really hard. This is genuinely like the most basic way to explain it. Trust me, there is so much more. And even though it is complicated, the beauty of having so many rules is that the characters who understand these rules are usually the ones that do the best. Nen has influenced so many other power systems, such as the final power system in level 7.
Yeah,
Listen,
JJK
I know
for
people love
sure.
hating on Jujutsu Kaisen, but saying that this power system isn't absolutely goated is insane. Jujutsu Kaisen is what happens when someone studies every great power system that came before, identifies what made each one of them special, and then creates something completely new. Combining valve
I can't
concept
believe
is
they
where
already
the
doing a
system reaches
JJK
true
spinoff,
brilliance. It's
or
basically
not
then
spinoff,
conditions
but
and
sequel.
limitations refined and perfected for modern storytelling. Characters can accept their structural
Bro, I thought I was watching two videos at the same time on accident.
permanent, conditional, or situational. The rules are not very simple. But seriously, there are so many rules, and I genuinely don't understand the power system that well. But from what I've heard, the author said that they wouldn't be able to explain it even if they wanted to. So
I have no
that
clue.
makes me
Basically,
feel
bro,
a
his
little bit
tiers
better.
are so
Here's the important
inconsistent.
part.
I have no clue
In the
where
world
he
of
would put
Jujutsu Kaisen,
Naruto.
negative emotions create cursed energy, and if there's enough cursed
But seven
energy, it will create
actually
cursed
definitely
spirits. Kind of like in
makes
Chainsaw.
sense.
The problem is that regular people can't control their negative energy, which is why there are a lot of these monsters. The people who can control this energy are called sorcerers, and it's their job to fight these monsters. I definitely think JJK is worse than Hunter x Hunter when it comes to the rules and explaining everything.
JJK
which is
not
why
as
the
good as
more the
Hunter x
series
Hunter.
went on, the more people were confused about the power system, and it genuinely felt like certain moments didn't fully make sense.
Not gonna lie, the
So
ending
based
to
on the
JJK is so
complexity of the
troll,
rules, the
especially now
depth,
that they already made a
consistency,
sequel.
Hunter x Hunter is the superior power system. But when it comes to how original and cool the powers are, I think JJK is more memorable.
Alright,
Gojo's
see, now-
limitless technique, summoning
No, I'm done. I'm not. See, now he starts. Now he start chatting. I gotta stop it there. But yeah, that's the video. That's the 7 levels of power system. I don't agree with a lot, but hey, sometimes you do need a refresher, and I did. You know what I'm saying? I guess, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, if y'all do want more, like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff out the way. Further ado, your boy Fitz. I'm out of here.
Tell them to bring me my money. Yeah!